Hi guys. Okay, so I have probably a short meeting tonight. So I've got some information on purpose, on clarity, on compassion, and self-inquiry. Should be good. Okay, so I have excuse me. I have to start out with a piece from Finding Clarity. It's a Juru Cabal book. So this just talks about, it's a very brief introduction into the book, but I think it's quite good. You can either read it or not read it. Okay, so from Paradise to Panic. It may be hard to hear, but the story of your life is primarily a story of dealing with fears. These aren't the fears of today. They're the fears of the subconscious, programmed by the mindset of a 4-year-old. A happy ending can be written only by discovering yourself as you truly are in the present. So obviously that talks about how we're wired from, being shown a safety, type of environment when we're children, but as well as our subconscious and how it actually controls the way that we behave and react in an automatic kind of sense. So that comes down to the auto nervous system. Okay, so the nature of the subconscious. The subconscious constitutes about 99% of the mind. How crazy is that? 1% lives in the present moment. No wonder it's so difficult. The challenges lies in the fact that we identify with the 1% that makes up the conscious mind. The subconscious mind is where our early defensive strategies originated and where they still remain a central influence. Nevertheless, although as an adult you identify with the conscious mind, it's the subconscious mind that provides most of our programming and behavior. The good news is that you can reprogram the subconscious. Yay! Okay, the 4-year-old. Your defense system personality and most of your fears about survival are solidified by about age 4. They once served you well, but since then they mostly haven't changed and are undermining your adult self. You can, however, teach your 4-year-old that most of your fears are no longer based in reality. So that goes into, I guess, the little slogan, fear. So about facts without evidence appearing real. So obviously we have feelings, we think they're factual, we kind of run with that, when in actual fact we should be asking ourselves the question, what's happened, are we really in danger, is everything okay, working through those triggers with compassion. Okay, the nature of memory. Memory is a kind of artificial reality. It is not the original event. It never was and never will be. In spite of this, the subconscious believes that the events seen in old inner photographs and movies are really happening right now. They aren't. Helping the subconscious to see this, you are able to live more fully in the here and now. So that's about being factual. And obviously going through your memories and finding out how they affect you, which is a really good way of not being irrational when you feel something, because you've already worked through it. And yes, you still feel things, but it makes it a lot easier. The nature of desire. The major obstacle to being present in the moment is the chasing of desire, our want mentality. Underneath every desire lies another one, ultimately leading to the fear that you won't survive. You need to help your 4-year-old see that you are safe in this moment, right now. Are you a self-fulfilling prophecy? As a 4-year-old, you unconsciously created a script to guide your life, and you carefully continue to follow it. The script has a beginning, a middle, but it has no ending. You repeat the same unfinished story endlessly. If it looks as though the script will be completed, you somehow sabotage it to stay with what is familiar. By releasing the old scripts and patterns, you open up to real life in the moment. So it's talking about being open to change, changing your mind from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, which, is about creating structure, being more compassionate, being forgiving, opening yourself up to new opportunities. So exercising, diet, all of those great things. Okay, fear of the positive. Here's a paradox. Beyond your desire to be happy, you also unconsciously hold on to your fears. The strongest fear is your fear of the positive. Your own potential. Why is that? The programs that keep you unhappy originated when you were dependent on others for your survival. Restrictions and dependency always create fears. Love, sex, and relationships. Your need for an intimate relationship, surprisingly, doesn't have much to do with love for the other. It primarily comes from neediness and concern for yourself. It is more an expression of your early belief that your survival depends on someone else taking care of you. True love is complete in itself. When you realize this, being with the other will be based less and less on neediness. So I guess there's all different types of love. I read about that today, and different types of personalities and how they clash, and what you're actually looking for in that person, whether it's more of a business-like relationship, whether it's based on intimacy, whether it's based on values, whether it's based on a need to have someone, or even sabotaging your own happiness by being with someone who goes against who you really are and what you really want out of life. So I guess that's something to think about. Or even if you're not going with anyone because you're quite afraid of that kind of thing, there's all different types of avoidant personality disorders and things like that, which you guys can look into if you want, or ask me for information. The senses. The world is what you see and feel at this moment through your 5 senses. You detect real danger in the here and now. Unfortunately, your mind often bases your senses of danger on prior experiences rather than on the sensory input of the moment. If you listen to your senses, you'll find that there is seldom a danger in the present moment. Hi, Martha. So that's something to think about as well. Why are we feeling certain things? Why are we being triggered? What's really happening? Oh, it seems to be skipping and messing up. So what's really happening for us? Where are the senses coming from? Where are the feelings coming from? Just analysing that. Okay, practical enlightenment. You can be in one of 2 places, in memory or in the present moment. One is a dream world and one is reality. All things exist only in the present. Existence is doing all the work. Your concerns about survival begin to diminish when you become aware that you are no longer the helpless infant you used to be, but a capable adult. Then you begin to recognize that miraculously, existence is allowing your breathing, making your heart beat. Everything truly important is being done for you. Knowing that something greater than you is taking care of you. Relax, trust. Not me, but it is skipping for me. Okay, gratitude. The origin of gratitude is in recognizing that you are surrounded by innumerable support. When you shift from feeling that you need something, you recognize that you are full and complete right now. The practices. The exercises and techniques in this chapter help bring awareness into focus. So it talks about teaching, practice. This chapter is key to learning to put into practice the teachings discussed. Juru's death. So here we learn about the actual author of the book, Juru's remarkable last days and unique requests. We are given a look into how Juru lived in his teachings in the day that led up to his death, a living and dying manifestation of being in clarity. Here's a quote from him. Awakening is not a matter of working on issues. It is a matter of waking up from the dream in which those issues seem real. Okay, so that's just a little piece from Finding Clarity by Juru Cabal. Now, I know that a lot of people are kind of wondering about purpose and what comes down to how we find our purpose, and if we are actually lacking purpose, that kind of thing. So I have a book called The No Excuses Guide to Uncovering Your Purposes by Stacey DeMarco and Jade Sky. And I was going to read the introduction. So I read a lot of these introductions because they're quite simplified, and also then you guys can obviously go and read the book, and I'm not going to spoiler alert it for you, unless I find a piece that I find quite good. Thank you, Greg. Okay, so when we were small, one of the most common questions we were asked was, what are you going to be when you grow up? and generally we had no problem stating that we wanted in reply. Our little selves would say what we wanted to be without a doubt. We smiled excitedly and said that we wanted to be a fireman or a vet. Or a teacher or a singer, we would answer, or a doctor or a builder or both. It was easy to express whatever we decided. There was no embarrassment, no hesitation, just the natural freedom of confidence, of just knowing. And what about the delight of wanting to be not just one thing, but a few? A doctor and a builder, a champion surfer and a scientist, a mother and an artist. We could interchange it. We could decide to be many things and not feel fear or shame. A true expression of our natural preference was a reflection of our own self-discovery and curiosity that was perfectly natural. Our natural preference were being exposed and expressed. A fireman, what is it that lit up and what it in us? What was it in? What was it in us that lit up and saw that we wanted to be of service, to be a hero perhaps? To protect when we first saw the concept of a fireman? What natural preference was brightly engaged when we first became very conscious of surfers riding the waves at the beach, or when we first entered a library? And then we get a little older. Then someone asks again, maybe we still want to be those things. Maybe those ideas have changed. Sorry, just one second. Page turning. These pages are quite thick. I can't seem to get it. I have to change hands. My page turner hand. Okay. Somewhat because we had more experience of the world. We may have been to school by this time and learned a little more about what we needed to become these things. So desire to be a fireman may have changed. Simply because we found something else that seemed more exciting. Perhaps, though, our call to be a doctor was muted by the discovery or just being told that we have to be super good at maths and physics and, well, that was super hard. Super hard doesn't sound like fun, and so there must be something else. We begin to edit our preferences and our natural purpose. And then later again, perhaps more seriously this time, we are asked, what do you want to do? But by this time we are thinking about money, status, responsibilities, exams, parental and peer expectations. And through this filter, we make decisions that set us on the path for our future working life. Do we still hold to our natural preferences? Do we still intend to participate in what we love? For many of us, no, and it wasn't even a conscious decision. Like our other books, No Excuses series, it is not going to give you loads of fluff and complex jargon. Instead, it's going to be full of practical action and techniques for you to try. It's full of stories of people who have successfully uncovered their purpose and living and breathing it. It is going to get you thinking about what the difference between work and purpose is. Yes, there is a difference, and it's an important one. We are going to give you tips and tricks in great physical, mental, and spiritual ways to get you out of your own way and get back on purpose. We are compassionate, but we want to get you well and truly moving forward towards where you want to go. If you are reading this, we presume that you are probably are not completely content with your working life. Perhaps you are in the middle of yet another bad job, and yes, it feels like Groundhog Day in hell, and you want to get out of there. You may be experiencing pain about not having the career you imagine you would. Perhaps you are feeling confused, unclear about what your purpose really is. Maybe you know what you want to do, but just can't find a way to do it without huge unacceptable risk. Commonly, you may feel a bit hopeless and stuck in a rut. The good news is, these are prime indicators that you are not only ready to change, but you are in the perfect place to do just that. We are excited for you, but more about that later. We ask one thing here right at the start, that you participate. Reading isn't enough. You must do, take action, participate in your own change. Yes, you may be fearful, tired, grumpy, and resistant, but you have asked for change. Have you not? Isn't it worth to stay where you are, keeping the status quo and so continually getting what you are getting? So we invite you to just give it a go. Participate in the exercises, which, by the way, you are most extremely pleasurable, and see where it takes you. By the way, I was like, you are most? Oh, thank you. I am pleasurable to be around. Thanks, book. We suspect it will take you back to the real you and what your soul is most delighted with. Let's go. Okay, so she gives a little advertising spiel there, but it wasn't too bad. So that was the No Excuses Guide to Uncovering Your Purpose. Okay, now I have some meditation exercises that I have planned. Yeah, oh, sorry, Krista, I'm just reading what you said. Yeah, excellent. No worries. Tag her if you can. I'm more than happy. Everyone is welcome, obviously. Okie dokie, I'll just get these exercises up and yeah, we'll get to some breathing and stuff happening. I didn't prepare a large reading tonight because I thought, you know what, I'm sure it gets boring for everyone. So, okay, it's just loading, I believe. Yes. I lost the exercise. Now I have to find it again. Great. That's what happens when I'm reading. Okie dokie. Nope. Is that? It's not there. I think it's getting there. Sorry, 1 second, guys. That's what happens when you don't have it printed out on paper. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you do need to keep learning because learning is actually a really good positive way of reprogramming your brain as well. So yeah, it breeds positivity, learning things, keeping your mind active, but obviously knowing your limits at the same time, which I know you do. Okay, where is this? Here we go. I think it was up a little bit. Sorry guys for not being completely organized. I did have the exercise up, but as I let my iPad go, a screensaver go on, it disappeared. And now I had to refresh the page. Okie dokie. There's so many on this webpage. It's called 22 mindfulness exercises. It's really, really good. There's ones for anxiety, there's ones for anger. So the 2 that we're going to do today is called self-inquiry meditation, and the first one is the self-compassion pause. Okay. So this is an ideal exercise for people who struggle to show themselves compassion, even though they may be quick to extend compassion to others. It is also a great way to practice mindfulness by bringing awareness to emotions and staying in the moment with them. Awesome, Martha, that's great. Go back to school, woo! I'm really happy that you're going to pursue your dreams. I'm going back to school too on the 17th, so I'm very excited for that. So I have been hesitant in pursuing my passion and my purpose for the same reasons, because I am afraid just like everybody else. So I just have to say no to fear. Alright, so the worksheet begins with noting the date and whether the focus on awareness is on heart, body, or thoughts on the current day. Next, the worksheet provides a short description on the importance of self-compassion for maintaining quality of life. The next section provides the method for the exercise. You start with noting feelings by taking a moment to pause thoughts and actions with a focused awareness that being mindful can help. Next, the worksheet instructs you to move a hand over the heart, give yourself a hug, or make physical contact with yourself in some other way and take a few deep breaths. That was nice. I couldn't give myself a hug. I had my hands full. But you guys give me, verbal hugs, which is great. Okay, so after this is the important step of acknowledging suffering. This step is both a place to practice mindfulness and encourages mindfulness as a result. The aim is not to become overwhelmed by the pain or emotion, but rather acknowledge it as real and hurtful, while giving yourself permission to feel it. While the last step may be the most difficult, it is also a very important one. It involves vocalizing 3 statements. This is suffering, or something similar. Suffering is a part of being human. Acknowledge that all humans suffer and struggle. A phrase that you feel others offers compassion, such as, may I love and accept myself just as I am. Okay, so I'll run through on the exercise. You're thinking about something that upsets you. You take some deep breaths, you go through this, form of giving yourself compassion and acceptance, giving yourself a hug, giving yourself a mantra, which is, talking about positive things that you are. We did one of those last week, breathing in strength, breathing out fear, that kind of stuff. Make it personal to yourself. And then obviously focusing on the breathing, give yourself a few minutes to kind of acknowledge the fact that you were able to do this exercise, you were able to voice it, go through that pain and deal with that, because that's a big thing. Even though sometimes we tell ourselves that makes us a piece of crap or whatever, if we say things out aloud, it makes us drama or whinger, but in actual fact it makes us quite strong to be able to speak about our problems and be one with that and own it and say, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do, and create an action plan by also being compassionate and not judgmental. Okay, which we know comes from the fear body, right? Okay, so this is the next one. It's called the self-inquiry meditation. It begins the same way the self-compassion worksheet does, by jotting down the date and what area is the focus of awareness for the day. Next, the worksheet offers a short description of self-inquiry and why it is worthwhile to practice it. Self-inquiry can bring about a sense of peace and openness to experience, among other desirable outcomes. To begin the exercise, follow these steps. Take a comfortable seated position. Let yourself settle into your body and your mind. Try to let go of thoughts and clear the mind of its usual considerations. Focus your attention on the feeling of being you. Who are you? How does it feel to be you? What is it that makes up your inner self? If you find yourself distracted by an errant thought, bring your awareness back to yourself by asking, to whom is this thought occurring? This exercise can be continued for as long as desired. It is a difficult exercise as it requires the individual to focus on the self, which not many find enjoyable. If you are having trouble staying in your own head, try practicing the self-compassion exercise first to make the experience more comfortable. The goal of self-inquiry, or inquiry, depending on how you say it, is to be aware of yourself and to bring awareness to the source of all that you are. It can be so easy to get lost in everyday tasks and distraction. Self-inquiry can help bring awareness to the one who is dealing with all these thoughts and feelings, you. Okay, so that's all I was going to do for tonight. And I appreciate you guys coming to join me tonight and listen to me read stuff. And that sounds fantastic, Krista. Just my video will be up on the page, so just add her or tag her, or that would be awesome. Alright, thanks guys for being here. If you need any resources, I can organize that for you. And have a good week, and I'll see you guys next week with some new material. If you guys have any suggestions, any specific topics you want me to bring up and do mindfulness exercises on them, please PM me or comment, and I will look up exercises directly related to that, and we can work on that together. Alright, thanks guys. Good night.